Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Boy, that's loud.
It is.
It's your go-to place for everything entertaining car talk, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Good morning to you. Just ahead, we try to make heads or tails with car insurance by talking to the folks at Lending Tree. Jeff has a feature on the rerun world of Motor Trend TV.
Yes.
Later, we talk to Ford about the F-150 Lightning, plus the stories making automotive news headlines, along with Conrad's Car Clinic. It's all straight ahead on this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us for this Saturday morning. Gentlemen, how's everybody?
Doing well.
Wonderful. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Super duper.
Had frost on my windshield this morning.
Of course, now, Mars lives out in the northwest part of town. And
No.
that's
What Conrad does.
Conrad
does.
I'm sorry.
Mars lives in the far east.
Mars, we don't
Mars
know-
lives next to Louisiana.
I was just going to say, we don't really know where Mars lives. It's a place called Neaterville, and it's kind of like Hooterville.
Pixley.
Pixley. Well, that's the town next door.
Yeah, it's the big town.
But at any rate, so I'm sorry, you live up on the northwest side.
He lives by Raleigh.
Had frost.
Frost. Well, we didn't have frost here, I'm glad to say.
So I literally got out a credit card and was scraping my windshield before I left the house.
You did not.
Yep. It's a little bit while I was late.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Well, we're all here, and we got a great show lined up for you today, and we hope that you enjoy it. 3 full hours of nothing but entertaining car talk.
Come
on. And matter of fact, speaking of which, joining us right now from Joycey is Divya. And Divya, I'm going to ask you that she did it earlier before we went on.
She did
the
it
air.
well, too.
She did it well. To pronounce your last name. And make it right now. Make it so we all know.
It's Sangameshwar.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be Divya this morning. And we're just going to go with that.
That works for me.
Okay, thank you. So she is with a company called Lending Tree, and actually it's part of a larger group, and it's valuepenguin.com. So, and we're going to talk about auto insurance sticker shock. Now, me personally, I have not had this. Of course, I've got minimum car coverage on the Corvette because
Knock on wood,
because the Corvette is 22 years old now. So I don't have a lot invested in it, and it's just not worth it for me to spend gobs and gobs of money when I drive the car maybe once every couple of months for a day or two. So you can exclude me kind of from the conversation. So I'm going to be the outside looking in. Expected to increase 8.4% auto insurance in 2023 based on rate filings submitted by insurers in late 22. So I guess like groceries and everything else, it's going up too. Why?
It's very simple. You know, it hasn't been going up for several years. It's been fairly flat. But then the pandemic came, and with it, inflation, it's just more expensive to repair cars. There are labor shortages. So that's one part of it. The other part is we're all back on the roads again. We're going to work. We're going to school. And with more people on the road, there are more accidents. That means more claims and also more expensive claims from, like I said, really expensive to repair cars. And also other factors like bad weather, meaning there are more cars totaled because of flooding. We don't really think about that, but that's also a factor. So when you add all of this together, it just leads to higher insurance rates because insurance companies will set their rates for the year ahead based off of how much money they spent in the past year. So 2022 was an expensive year for them, so they're raising rates in 2023.
Of course they are, yeah. And I understand that Illinois, of all places, has the largest rate hike averaging 17%, Arizona 15%, New Hampshire 13%. Why so much in those particular states?
So it's really hard for us to pin down why some states are going to have that much of a higher rate increase compared to other states. But it comes down to the same equation. More claims, more expensive claims lead to higher rates. There's also another factor. Insurance companies have to submit their rate increase requests to local authorities, the insurance commissioner's office, and it's a negotiation, and this is what they have negotiated to increase.
Divya,
So it may go back and forth a few times.
is it because of those states, the people are leaving those states, so the monetary pool is less for those states because folks are leaving, or is that a factor?
I mean, it's one of the factors. When you think of a place like Illinois, there's also, it's very snowy, so they may have more accidents. And insurance companies may also raise rates on other factors like, safety. Is that area high in crime? Like I know some parts of Illinois might be. And, even in a place like Florida, which has the second highest insurance rates, that's a state that gets a lot of hurricanes. So, that factors in our cars getting flooded and totaled. So it's a very complicated equation. It's really hard for us to give you specifics on why some states are seeing higher rate increases and some states aren't. But it comes down to the same basic numbers.
Does the
more claims, more expensive claims?
Does the population
more
of
money spent on insurance?
Does the population of retirees also impact that? The older the driver, the higher the incidence, the accident?
That's a really good question. It probably does, but when we've done the math on it, we've actually found that younger drivers are a little more expensive to insure than older drivers. I'm talking 16 to 20 age group. They tend to be much more higher risk than older drivers. They're more likely to get into dangerous accidents. So the age of the driver might be a factor, but I don't think it's as big a factor as, say, weather or just overall safety and risk of that area.
Well, one of the statistics that you provided us is the fact that some drivers that have lots of tickets, that those drivers, some of them, their premiums can jump by 52%.
Wow.
Holy Toledo.
Wow.
I mean, that's on average, and that's the average for speeding, a DUI, and an at-fault crash. So it's a lot higher in some states. If you look at the table, it's 115% in North Carolina.
Wow.
And I don't think it's so bad in Texas, though. I feel like Texas is a little more forgiving.
Yeah, we're safer down here.
But your rate can also be impacted for a non-at-fault incident, correct?
It can be, but it won't be as much. It will be very small compared to an at-fault accident or a DUI. A DUI is probably the worst thing you can get in terms of your insurance rates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's for good reason. Now, when you have any kind of a traffic violation or you get into an accident where you're at fault, the insurance company is going to look at you and say, well, this person is a risky driver, so I need to adjust my rates to protect me from the risk of this driver. And that's why, they raise rates.
Well, here's another stat that you supplied, in the fact that new electric vehicles will be 28% higher than new gasoline-powered cars. Why is that?
I mean, it's really, it comes down to how expensive electric vehicles are to repair. I mean, think about it. EVs are essentially computers on four wheels. They have a lot of technology built into them. The batteries are expensive to repair or replace. And when a car is expensive to buy and to repair, it automatically becomes expensive to insure. And
to continue on the conversation like that, for instance, the Tesla Model Y is averaging over $3,000, the highest insurance premium in 2023.
Wow.
I think the only car that's a little more expensive than that is a Porsche Taycan. And that's not surprising because it's an electric sports car. But the Model Y was a little surprising to us because it's a car that's, bought by families. It's a in the Tesla universe, I guess it's a mid-priced car. However, insurance companies will set rates based off of the previous year's claims and cost of claims. So I guess there must have been a lot of Tesla Model Ys that got into accidents in the past couple of years.
What is the
And that's why
average?
it's so expensive
What is
to
the
insure.
average monthly? Well, let me do it. Let's do it by the year. What's the average yearly premium for a regular run-of-the-mill car?
Absolutely. So for 2023, that's expected to be $1,780 for full coverage car insurance.
1780.
So roughly $300 a month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But keep in mind, this is an average.
No, I understand.
This is an average. It includes Michigan. So Michigan always skews the number because Michigan is the most expensive state for car insurance.
It's more expensive than
Texas
California?
is actually not too bad. Michigan is the most expensive state to get insurance.
Are we darn?
Full stop. It is 168% more than the average cost of insurance. I think their average annual costs for 2023 we pegged at $4,788 per year.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
I would bet on California.
So down here in Texas, let's say you've got a 15-year-old granddaughter that just got her permit, and she's already got AAA. She's already signed up for AAA for the aspects that they give. So something like that, does that skew the number as well?
No. So when we calculated our average, we actually used a sample driver. And this sample driver is a 30-year-old who drives a Honda sedan, has a clean driving record, and good credit, because we wanted to do an apples to apples comparison to get into how much insurance companies are raising rates, independent of your driving factors, because that to us was the big story. Your rates could go up or not go up as much as what we're seeing because of your driving record or because of your discounts or other factors. But if insurance companies are raising rates, then we wanted to let Americans know so that when they get their renewals in the mail this year, they're not going to be shocked and think, hey, I didn't drive much. I was a good driver. I didn't get a single ticket in my name, So why are my rates going up? Well, it's because insurance companies are raising them. And this is as pure a number as we can get for you without any outside factors.
Let me ask you this. So why is it that I see on television all the time that advertising for Allstate will save me $652 a year, and then AAA says I'll save you $595 a year? How is that possible?
Well, that's the next point I was going to make. Just because your rates are going up doesn't mean you're stuck with them. You made a really good point about the ads, because what the ads are encouraging you to do is shop around and look for other insurance companies to see if they'll offer you a better deal. And more often than not, they will. We did a survey about this in 2022, and what we found is less than 30% of Americans shop around for insurance, but 95% of those who did said they were able to shave off some dollars from their insurance premiums. Some of them said they were able to save as much as $200 per year on their insurance premium. So, wow. And this is an average figure based off of a sample of 1,500 respondents. Your actual savings could be a lot higher depending on your type of insurance and the insurance company you're with.
So is there
in short, it doesn't really pay for you to be loyal to your insurance company. Sorry, go ahead.
Is there a repository that I can go to and type in my information, the car that I have, my driving record, et cetera, my age, all that sort of thing, that I can say, okay, I want to compare on one sheet of paper the cost of insurance for Allstate, AAA, Progressive, Geico, State Farm. Is there such a thing?
Well, yeah. I mean, valleypenguin.com is one such website. I can think of a few others. QuoteWizard.com is another website that offers this service. The Zebra, Insurify. There are a lot of online comparison websites that you can visit to get all of this information all in one place. But of course, they may not ask you for a lot of information, but they'll ask you for car model, your full name, date of birth, and potentially a phone number so that insurance companies can get in touch with you. It can be a little much, but it's helpful. If you don't want to go down that route, if you feel uncomfortable putting your personal information into a website, you can always try to get in touch with a local independent insurance agent. So they're not affiliated with one company, but they sell for multiple companies. Give them a call and ask them, hey, this is my name. I want to get insurance for my car. What are some of the best rates out there? And actually, independent agents have a slight edge over some of the websites. They'll also pull from smaller local insurance companies that may offer better deals than some of the big ones. So it's always good to do your research before you sign on the renewal and send it back.
Do I have to worry about getting ripped off by some fly-by-night insurance company, or is there some sort of regulatory agency that it can assure me that I'm not going to, write a check every month for $150 for car insurance, and then when it comes time for me to file a claim, there's no money in the pot?
So it's very small insurance companies that you've never heard of. That's always a risk. And I feel like some of those companies target people in communities where there isn't a lot of education around insurance. So that's a good point you brought up. Before you sign the dotted line on any insurance plan, go look up the Better Business Bureau or call up your state insurance regulatory office. Every state has an insurance regulator, and you can call them up and ask them about this company that you're going to sign up.
Interesting.
Are they legit? Are there complaints against them?
So,
A lot of times complaints are submitted against insurance companies that you can view. The other place you can check them out is the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. They even publish a report every year on complaints submitted against insurance companies. So that's something you can check as well.
Well, in the car business, I talk to a lot of body shop managers, body shop owners, and I look at them as a real good resource as to what insurance companies do the right thing in repairing your vehicle. Some of them are, they're always looking to cut corners with the shops. They pay a fixed fee to the shop for the labor, which is less than what their posted door rate is. All that's
Right.
kind of negotiated at some level. Some of them want them to use non-OEM parts. All of that, I assume, is at the insurance company's discretion and probably part of the document that you sign when
your premium.
when you sign
Yeah.
up for the premium. Is that they may be using non-OEM parts to repair your vehicle.
And not
They
only
may
that,
have only certain shops that you're allowed to take your vehicle to get the repair done.
and what's the length of a loaner car? Is it 2 days, 3 days, a week?
And what's the price of the loaner,
Exactly.
the rental
The
car?
reimbursement.
So,
all
It's really
factor.
interesting.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I said it's really interesting you brought up the loaner car thing because one of my neighbors ran into that problem with their insurance company. So their car was in the shop for about 3 weeks, but their insurance policy only allowed a certain amount of money for a loaner car. I think it was less than $1,000. And we live in Jersey. It's expensive to rent cars in my state. So their insurance only covered their loaner car for less than a week, which means for the remaining 2 weeks, they were out of pocket. And
it's expensive to do anything in New Jersey.
Mike,
but I believe
Mike knows
that
this
the
because
rising
Conrad knows this because he's originally from New York. So
We
there
look
you
so
go.
much alike.
Yeah, I'm a Westchester County, New York guy. So,
the Westchester County is definitely
but
nicer place than
it's not
New
cheap
Jersey,
either.
where I'm in.
Yeah. Divya, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. It's valuepenguin.com, correct?
Yes, and ValuePayment.com is a subsidiary of LendingTree.
Very nice.
Interesting.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Let's stay in touch. If you got any other news that you'd like to share, please give us a holler.
Thank you very much.
I will. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
The same. Thank
Thank you.
That was good.
Good information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it most definitely was. Hey, I'd like to remind everybody that if you'd like to get in touch with us here, you can always shoot us an email. Our address is info@inwheeltime.com. And we appreciate you joining us today. Time now for the In Wheel Time racing calendar. And racing has started, I guess, down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last weekend was the 24 Hours of Daytona.
I watched it.
And the Acras went 1-2 in the new DPI hybrid and then Cadillac went
3, 4, 5. But they were 1 and 2 until circumstances.
I think they made some bad
calls in the paddock.
in the pits.
Yeah.
And then Corvette finished number 2 in GTD Pro. So that was good to see Corvette back because Corvette stunk it up last year.
Yeah, they did. Well, drivers have a lot to do with that.
And new
kind
car.
Kind of the same driver team this year
Yeah.
that there was last year. But yeah, the C8 was all new for them. And you got to remember at IMSA there's something called BOP, balance of power. So they start adding weight and putting restrictors on the intake and changing the amount of onboard fuel so that you have to either pit more often or less often. So they start playing around with
Depending
that,
how they map it.
trying to
Yeah.
balance the vehicle's performance out.
Yeah, and make the race interesting.
Right.
I got it.
So tomorrow night is Clash at the Coliseum. So it's inside the LA Coliseum. They put
Great.
an asphalt, basically a quarter-mile asphalt track.
Wonder what the weather's supposed to be out there tomorrow night, because it's been raining in Southern California, which is unusual.
It never rains in Southern California.
So
There's a song
says.
about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Spain.
I don't know, but I think they're hoping it's nice and dry because they spent a lot of money asphalting that.
Yeah.
And then Daytona duels are the 16th of February, and then the Daytona 500 is the 19th of February. So generally that is the week after the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl is the 14th.
One of these days I want to go to the
Or
Daytona
the 12th,
500.
excuse me. Well, that's a bucket list thing to go to for me as well as the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Almost went one year when I worked with General Motors and got screwed on a contest.
Well, I will tell you that I've actually been to the Daytona Speedway.
Yep.
Because, my daughter went down there to Embry-Riddle University, which is just on the other side of the airport there, and got a chance to go over there and take a tour, and it was really
Go to the
cool.
museum?
Went to, all that.
That'd
It was neat.
That'd be cool.
It's a very interesting place because, obviously it's not too far from the beach, and everything is just pancake flat down there.
Mhm.
So unlike any other racetrack that I've been to. All right, Mr. Zekin over here has got some bad news.
Well, not bad news, just a little disappointing news. You watch Motor Trend TV, and you've got all these reruns of these car shows. When are they going to put a new one out? You get television shows like Bitchin' Rides comes on, and they run 4 episodes, and then they go into reruns from 2018.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why?
that kind of rerun. I thought it was rerun from the TV show. The guy,
No.
Mars was doing his dancing here
Yeah,
before
different.
doing
No.
the rerun.
No, his medication was kicking in. That's why he was doing it.
Yeah,
That or not
he
kicking
wish
in.
it. I was just
So,
going to say he wish it would kick
I
in.
figured I'd do some research on, well, we used to be Velocity, but Motor Trend TV was actually called Discovery HD Theater back in 2002, which was the first 24/7 Motor Trend type show. From there, it went into producing shows like American Chopper. Remember those guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Animal Planet was on there as well. Corwin's Quest was part of their shows that they produced. So from there, it went into Velocity in 2011, no longer the HD theater type thing. And then in 2011, later on in that year, they went to Velocity, strictly Velocity, not HD Velocity.
So that was all automotive.
All automotive, getting into that. And then later on, they went Velocity. Motor Trend, so there's a lot of name changes and a lot of things that they're doing that evidently made them successful. But today's market, I'm not really happy with it. So as Motor Trend, they branded that, and it's called TEN, which was
10.
named 10, but it was announced it was the Entertainment Network, sort of like an ESPN thing.
Yeah.
So they went into that for international. They went into Canada. But here's my problem. You've got a total of 97 shows, and I've got 31 of them here. 97 shows, and 96 of them are in rerun. There's a few of them that aren't. So when I'm watching Motor Trend to get maybe some education or to have fun looking at a show that you want about building, they're there. You can look them up, and it's just
It's all about making money.
yeah.
And the bottom line is that the production costs are extremely expensive with these semi-reality shows. It takes months to produce one show. because what we see is a very condensed version.
A 1 hour show of a car build that took 6-7 months to do.
14 months in some respects. And if you watch some of these shows, they'll be working on this particular vehicle, but in the background, there's a vehicle that they built and finished 2 weeks ago on that show. And I understand the filming and I understand the production part of it. It's got to be take and retake and take and retake. I get it. But don't fool me.
Well, the other thing is, and I think that perfect example of the frustration of these guys that own these shops is Phantom Works. Dan
Good
up there,
point.
that
He's
said,
just starting a new show.
he said,
Is he?
you guys get out.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. You're killing me here. I can't make any money, because there's a lot of time spent that he has to sit down and they feed him words to say. The producer, the on-site producer, has to feed him words to say to stitch this show together to make it all make sense. And it takes a lot of time. It's all just not a reality off the cuff kind of stuff. You see some of those segments, but for the most part, to bring a car full circle into a television show, a redo or repair or whatever it is that they're talking about, all of that takes time. And if they usually have 2 or 3 guys shooting the video, and you rarely see them in the shot. Sometimes you do, and it's only because they have to use that shot.
Right. And
So there's so many components to getting that on tape. It's very difficult to do and very expensive. And to have a series that goes for 12 shows, think of how long that took to get the 12 shows, and a lot of money.
And there's some of these that, there's shows that have only run 4 episodes and they're off the air.
Yep.
Some have run 30 plus episodes and they're in reruns now, and so on for their season, because a season's not a year. A season could be 6 weeks.
Correct.
A season could be 8 weeks, depending on the production.
Yep.
But there is a show, Full Custom Garage. Ian Rousseau, he's got some fresh new stuff on there, which is very, very cool.
Well, I think they're now doing Texas Metal is new, and we've
Texas
had Bill.
Metal is new, yep.
We've had Bill Carlton on the show,
absolutely,
and he talked about exactly what Don was talking about just a few minutes ago. What a pain it is to do business when they are filming there, and,
right?
And he says, it's quite interfering with their ability to just do business, because the film crew has to take priority. And they're in the way while they're doing all this other stuff.
Do they get paid a lot for it? And there's a show called Shorty's Paint or something that derived from another show. Yeah. Not a fan either, because it's all about Shorty. So listen up there, Motor Trend.
We talked to a couple of times Jamie Torres out in New Mexico with Dominion Customs. He kind of got into that Tackle My Ride. It's kind of like a Pimp My Ride, but it was NFL players involved in it.
Right.
And it was him and his 2 sons in this small town in New Mexico, and they basically did the same thing. They lost all their regular business because they were so involved in that.
And they lose employees.
They give it up.
They lose good people, too.
Well, it was him and his sons, and that's really what was killing them.
Well,
they didn't.
In some of the bigger productions, you'll see what happened to that guy that was doing a certain function. He's not there anymore because he quit.
I want to remind everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, InWheelTime.com, and podcasts are at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets out there. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise-in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your Hot Rod, Classic, Resto-Mod, or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted Chili Pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar, because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Lupi Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.